Mr. P, in the time of recession, what do you think? Should we convert our money in gold, BTC USTD? See, it depends on the kind of recession you have, but to rule of thumb, risk assets are dropping. They will have started their fall well before the recession, like they've been dropping since last year as well, and before it is even announced, because always remember that a recession is backdated. It's in retrospect, so things have already dropped, but yes. The final bit of drop is still there that's left, so yes. You would want to keep gold, physical gold. Of course you want to avoid risk assets. You want to leave no trace. You should use cash where possible, VS cards, because governments are on hunt too. And other than that, you don't have to wait for the recession to end either to start buying your stuff once it has been there for a while. You just start nibbling your positions already. There are some recessions where you don't want to be anywhere near around oil or the energy sector, for example, the COVID stuff. That is why I say it depends on the kind of recession in this one oil, energy, rare earth minerals are relevant. But determine what has induced the recession. You have them based on credit situations, or is it because of war, the delinquencies? What's up? And of course, you would want to hold on to cash for most part, but this is very rare, as normally you would want to avoid cash as much as you can. But your question is about recessions, so you want to hold on to cash during them. Your buying power matters a lot in recessions if you're able to survive that part, and you're able to shop your stuff at very good prices during tail end of a recession. You're able to think of it as an opportunity, then you have way to go. That is where the wealth is made You don't want to hold on to your cash till the very end of recession either. This one is likely a war-based, war-induced recession that is restricting globalization. Trump already prepared with tariffs for a less globalized because he knew what was going on in his mind for future wars. They're also going to print a lot of money, a lot of fiat, and it has to be spent on funding public projects, weaponry, expansion policies, fertilizers, import and exports are restricted. So you find out companies that would make these things, and healthcare, of course, healthcare, it usually sees its best days during recessions. Be informed, very well informed about that one. And you know when it's a recession, and even the gold would go down, but it would go down lesser compared to the SPX 500, and it would make a new ultimate all-time high faster than S&P 500 when coming out of a recession. Know that right now, as S&P 500 is breaking against gold, bubbles are bursting, and only at later stage, finally, you would start exposing yourself to risk assets, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all that. Of course, they lie at the very end of risk curve. You either get into them when things are looking better, geopolitically, economically, or you start nibbling when the end. One other important thing during recessions would be to protect your purchasing power. You don't want to be able to waste money on expensive stuff, cars, the consumable stuff that is going to be devalued at exponentially high pace during recessions because there are no buyers for your house, for your car. You're not able to sell them, you're not able to find a buyer, but when you really want to go out and buy something, it's very expensive as well. You also want to have canned rations and to prepare for lockdowns. The money has devalued you, and also protect yourself and your family from very bad stuff going on in the streets. It's a bad time. Crime rates tend to rise coming out of recessions. You also want to make sure that you are more into producing and not consuming. During recessions, your ability to produce during recessions can keep you content, intact, and improve the quality of your life and assure your survival. You produce anything of value. It could be physical. It could be a skill that's in high demand in given circumstances, and make sure that you don't do stupid stuff like you don't over-risk your money with leverage. You protect your buying power. Cash is limiting factor in recesses. TLDR, I think it's not just about where you put your money in. It's also about where you don't mess up with your habits. Also keep an eye on bonds, refinancing, TLTs. Yes, TLT-style long-term U.S. Treasury bonds often do well in recessions because investors usually move into safer assets, and interest rates may fall, which can lift long-duration bond prices. 3 asset classes that have historically held up better in recessions are U.S. Treasuries, gold, and defensive equities, such as consumer staples or utilities. Nothing is guaranteed, especially if inflation stays high, but those are the classic recession-resistant buckets.